Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever just Googled your own address for fun? It's kind of wild what pops up, right? And it's usually a lot more than just a map. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your home's surprisingly public online life, and more importantly, show you how to take back a little bit of that privacy. So let me ask you something. Think back to when you were house hunting. You remember all those online pictures of the place you live in now? Is that old welcome mat the previous owner's furniture, maybe even a blurry family photo in the background? Is all of that still just sitting there on the internet for anyone to see? Let's find out. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into what your home's digital footprint actually looks like. Then we'll figure out who's collecting all this data and how they're doing it. After that, and this is a good part, we're getting practical with a step-by-step guide and a whole toolkit of resources. And finally, we'll talk about locking that digital door for good. Okay, first things first. Let's get a really clear picture of what's actually floating around online about your home. Because, what you think is out there and what's really out there can be two very different things. And this right here, this is where it gets kind of crazy. You probably figure, okay, a nice photo of the front of my house, no big deal. But the reality, it's way more invasive. We're talking old interior photos, super detailed floor plans, the full sales history, including what you paid for it, and even ownership details. All of this stuff combines to create a kind of digital doppelganger of your private home. And there's actually a name for all this leftover data: digital exhaust. It's just this trail of information that hangs around online forever, building this incredibly detailed profile of your property that you probably had no idea even existed. All right, so we know the stuff is out there, but who exactly is collecting it? And how in the world are they getting their hands on it? Understanding this part is absolutely key to taking back control. Okay, so how do we wrap our heads around all this? I like to use a really simple framework: TOPS. First, we identify the threats, who's collecting your data, then the opportunities they're using to get it, then the preventative measures you can take to stop them, and finally the strengths, which are the tools you have on your side. Let's start with those first two: threats and opportunities. So who are these threats? Well, no surprise here, it's mainly data brokers and marketers. And their opportunity? It's a 1-2 punch. First, they scrape public property records, which are super easy to access. And second, they pull data from user profiles you might have created yourself on real estate websites. Maybe you did it years ago while you were house hunting and completely forgot about it. All right, that's enough about the problem. Let's get to the solution. This is the fun part, where you actually get to do something about it. We are now at the P in our TOPS framework: preventative measures. And look, I'm not going to just talk in hypotheticals here. We're going to walk through the exact concrete steps for 3 major real estate platforms so you can see for yourself how doable this really is. First up, a big one: Redfin. Let's say you want to get rid of those old interior photos. It's actually a pretty simple 2-step process. First, you find the old listing for your home, the one that shows it as sold. Then you just follow their official process for removing photos. Yep, they have a whole system in place for this. Okay, next up is Property IQ. This is a site that has a ton of ownership data. But guess what? This one is almost too easy. You just search your address, find your listing, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and click the link that says Opt Out. That's it. It's a perfect example of how one simple click can make a huge difference. And then you've got a service like HomeSnap. For them, it can be as simple as just sending an email. Seriously, you just send a message to their support team. No complicated forms, no hoops to jump through. The big takeaway here is that these controls exist. You just have to know where to look for them. So those were just a few examples to get us started. Now, let's zoom out and give you the full toolkit you can use all over the web. This is where we get to the S in our TOPS framework: your strengths, the tools that are on your side. Okay, this slide right here, this is your cheat sheet. I'm not kidding. You might want to pause here or grab a screenshot of this. It lists all the big real estate services, from Zillow to Realtor.com, and tells you exactly how to manage your data on each one, whether that's using an owner dashboard, emailing support, or finding a specific link. This is your action plan. Now take a look at this number. That's 9. 9 major services where you now have the exact playbook to go in and manage your personal data. I mean, think about that. In just the last few minutes, you've gained a ton of actionable knowledge. That's pretty powerful. So let's bring it all home, pun intended. What's the one big idea you should really walk away with today? It's this: taking these small, deliberate steps to manage your home's data,
It's not just about hiding old photos of your living room. It's really the first powerful step you can take in managing your entire digital footprint and deciding for yourself what the world gets to see about you.
So, you now have the tools to lock your home's digital front door. But that brings up a much bigger question, doesn't it? What other digital doors in your life might you have accidentally left wide open? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for watching.